Welcome back. Today, we're tackling one of the most fundamental concepts in programming, for loops. If data is the lifeblood of Python, loops are the heart, providing the rhythm for repetition. As a professional developer, writing effective and readable loops is non-negotiable. We're going to move beyond the basics and look at the highly Pythonic ways to iterate.
The core concept of a for loop is iteration, going through every item in a sequence, one by one. Think of a postal worker delivering mail. The postal worker doesn't need to know the exact house number before starting. They just know they must deliver mail to every house on the street. Python loops typically operate on the item itself, not the index or position.
This is the cleanest, most Pythonic way to iterate when you only care about the values inside the list.
Look at the second line. For fruit in fruits, we are defining a temporary variable, fruit, which holds the value of the current element during that specific cycle. The loop handles the internal mechanics of moving to the next item in the fruits list automatically. We simply access the value via our temporary fruit variable.
Sometimes you don't just care about the value, you need the index or position, perhaps to modify the list in place or to count the steps. This is where the built-in range function comes in. Range generates a sequence of numbers, which we often use as indices.
Remember, range of n generates numbers up to, but not including n. It is 0 indexed by default. We can also define a starting point and a step size. For example, range of 2, 10, 2 would start at 2, stop before 10, and skip every other number, generating 2, 4, 6, and 8.
A common mistake juniors make is trying to force the index-based approach, even when they don't need the index. This usually involves combining range with the length of the list.
While the code works, it is verbose, less readable, and fundamentally less safe. If your loop logic is complex, it's easy to introduce an off-by-one error and cause an index error. We are asking Python to do extra work, calculate the length, generate the indices, and then use the indices to look up the value. There is a much better way.
If you absolutely require both the index or position and the value simultaneously, Python offers the elegant enumerate function. This is the professional standard. Think of enumerate as providing a delivery manifest. It gives you the house number and the resident's name in one convenient package.
When you use enumerate, you unpack two values in the loop definition, the index and the item. This is clean, fast, and eliminates the risk of an index error because Python manages the boundary checks internally.
Notice how we define index item inside the loop. This unpacks the tuple that enumerate provides for each iteration. We added +1 to the index purely for human readability, as indices naturally start at 0. Use enumerate every time you need to reference the item's location within the list.
Let's put this into practice by building a simple calculator that sums a list of numbers. This requires us to use a running total, which is a classic loop pattern. We must initialize the variable outside the loop, otherwise it resets every time.
First, we define our data and initialize our running total variable. It is crucial to set total sum to 0 before the loop starts.
Now we iterate directly over the values. We don't need indices here. We use the addition assignment operator += to accumulate the total.
In the first cycle, total sum becomes 0 plus 45. In the second cycle, it becomes 45 plus 12, and so on. The loop ensures every single number contributes to the final result, demonstrating efficient and readable iteration using the direct value loop.
Great work today! You now have the professional tools for handling iteration, the simple value loop, the index generator rangein, and the powerful dual output enumerate. Your assignment or homework is on the screen now. Take the sum calculator code we just built and modify it to calculate the average of the numbers. You'll need to sum the items and also keep track of how many items there were. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next session.